Electrocast.
Hit the button.
I hit the button. Go. Go, O. We're on.
All right, I guess we are live.
We're alive.
Dollar bets. Dollar bets. Dollar bets.
Woo!
What up, Z?
How you doing, man? What we on? O? What's our cover story?
You know what we're going to start with today?
What's that?
We're starting with the W.
Ooh, the W what?
WNBA.
Oh, someone getting W's in the WNBA? Is it you?
We had one of the all-time shots in WNBA history last night.
I'm pretty sure it was the all-time shot in WNBA history.
Yeah.
Considering people actually were paying attention this time, I think it was definitely... Like, you got a team in the New York Liberty that have been... There are 6 times, you said, right? In the, I don't know, since 1990.
6th time in the championship.
97 was it? 96?
The trophy.
Yeah, they never won. I think they're not going to win.
On the brink, they're up 2-1 in a best of 5.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what happens if they get that one more?
New York goes crazy.
Well, you know who else goes crazy?
You get $1 from me.
If they get one more, I get one more.
The double or nothing WNBA activated. I was watching that. I'm like, that game was. I watched the last 5 minutes. I'm being honest, and I was like, this is the first 3.5 minutes were horrific basketball, just god freaking awful basketball. And I was like,
no defense, you mean, right? It was an
no,
all-star game.
there was no scoring. Like, there was no skill shown. It was just really bad. It was so bad, dude. Dude, it was really bad.
Wait, you're talking about the beginning of the game?
No, the last few minutes. I mean, maybe they were tired, but I was like, what am I watching? And then, like, and it had an amazing end, so I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the end, but I don't really remember that it was so narrowed down to just a couple minutes at the end. I thought it was going back and forth a little bit longer than that.
No, man, it was horrible, dude. But it doesn't matter. It's you remember for the finish, right? Because like Kobe won that game in Game 7, right? In 2010. I won many $100s. That was fun. But it was just like he played not very well, and he got the Finals MVP. He was 7 for 24. But did they win the game? Oh, did they win the game?
Yeah, and I'm still mad about who was kind of the hero of that game.
You don't like Meta?
No.
Why?
Because first of all, his name is Meta. World Peace.
Oh yeah, I forget that people can actually be Pistons fans. Sorry.
Yeah, and also he is still the guy that went into the crowd in the Palace and started beating up Pistons fans.
All of them were ones that were throwing shit at them, right? And hitting them?
No. They, from what I understand of the replay guy, but regardless, he went into the crowd.
Okay. Yeah.
You can't do it.
Yeah, can't do it.
Can't do it.
I think, who was that player on their team? Sasha Vucic or something?
Sasha Vucic.
He was so bad, dude. Kobe's teammates besides Meta and
Paul Gasol.
And Paul Gasol.
Andrew Bynum was still on that team.
Yeah, he was not good. It was a 3-man team. Bynum was there. Shannon Brown was around, right? And it's like, that team was not good, dude.
Shannon Brown.
It was
Brown do for you.
It was just Doc Rivers classic, like, we're going to blow this. Let's do it. We won last year somehow, but we're going to blow this. We have Ray Allen on our team. Not going to win. Doesn't matter. Like, really? Should have won more with Ray Allen. Anyways, WNBA, it was Ionescu. That's her last name, right? Sabrina Ionescu. With the dagger 3. I'm like, you have to, if you're defending her, don't you see at the other end of the court, you can see the time? I'm like, why would you not just get up on and like go, you know what? Drive.
Good defense. I mean, she stepped back to the logo.
No, she stepped sideways. Sidestepping is not good defense, dude. Sidestepping is not good defense. I know she was back there and she was setting up the shot. You want her to take that shot, but you don't want her the shot was open at that point. She got burnt on a sidestep, dude. A sidestep with 3 seconds left. She released the ball with like 3 seconds left, I think. So it's like maybe 5 were being generous.
Through with 1.0.
It splashed with 1.0, so that's what? 5 seconds, 4 seconds. So like, I don't know, I pride myself on my defense as a rec league junker, and I would just shut people down entirely. And like they would be every game I would play, I would get pushed. and stuff. Like, you'd have to throw me to the ground to give up a shot like that. So I was just wondering, like, this was out of...
would have daggered that shot right in your face, too. That was just a good shot. Give credit where credit is due.
I know. It was a great... she made the shot, but it wasn't a... I'm not even saying it was a bad shot. Dude, it was... If y'all are listening, check the replay. She sidestepped her. It wasn't a step back. It was a sidestep. You cannot... If you're a premier defender, I don't know if that person was. However, you cannot afford to give up a sidestep three-pointer in your face to end a... Basically, I think they're deflated now. I think New York wins in 5. I don't think they win this next game, but, like, I think New York wins in 5, and you win the dollar, more importantly.
One more game in Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll give it their all, and maybe they'll hit some of these missed layups that... But I think it's going to come down the wire again, and I think they're going to have a plan for Ionescu, but then her and Stewart or whatever. Yes, I know 2 players. Ask me how many players I know on the Lynx.
Lynx?
Yeah.
I'm going to say... Less than 1.
0, yes, correct. But I want that dollar. I want that dollar bad. Oh, I'm gonna watch that game tomorrow. I'm gonna do it.
It's game 4 tomorrow night.
It's game 4 is tomorrow night, I believe. It should be. If it's not, we're gonna say it is. So make sure you tune in to see who wins that dollar. And you know, if you're curious, so like if you can win some coin on some W, go to signupexpert.com /dollar bets with a Z and get in the WNBA action because we also got our NBA preview coming next week.
New York Liberty to get the W.
That's right. Are you excited to do? You excited to do NBA preview next week? It's gonna be dope. Our teams are terrible, and we're excited to talk. What if we were like we're exclusively talking about the Pistons and the Bulls for 45 minutes each? It's a extended bonus edition.
I will bet you right now that the Bulls have a better season than the Pistons.
I mean, yeah, they have more high-end talent that's more experienced, so yeah, I would say that.
A quick little interlude,
yeah.
Because the Thursday night trash football game is about to start, but listen to this Saints injury report. We got, hold on, it just came off the screen, so I need to rewind it now.
Everyone's injured, dude.
Everyone's injured.
Yeah.
Olave is injured, Taysom Hill is injured. One of their offensive guards is injured. Wide receiver is injured. Obviously, their quarterback is injured.
Yeah, I'm starting a player named Bub Means. I'm starting him in fantasy. By all means, because I got like 4 Bears on bye, so I had 5 Bears on bye, so I have to do it.
5 Bears.
I got the D. I got Caleb Williams. I got DJ Moore and Komet, and Roshan is not a starter, but I got him too. So I big.
Are we segueing into football?
Yeah, and we just want to tell you we are going to do an NBA preview. We're still working on the deets of how we're going to do that, but there's going to be kind of an update on our off-season players. Or in April when we did the players of the top players, it was the top 9, right? We like doing weird numbers. It's more fun.
Yeah, we did the top 9.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
Was this too daunting of a task?
Football. So we're gonna talk. First of all, we're gonna update you on our MVP vote. I think Jalen Hurts and Dak are nowhere near the conversation right now. Right? Can we?
Bye-bye.
What's that? Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, we were both wrong.
I think I'm going to say this. The winner of the... I can't believe I'm saying this, but the mega hyped Bears and Commanders game that I'm trying to go to. If I have a good gambling week, I'm going to that game. The winner of that game's quarterback is probably a top 3 frontrunner for that award. And it's like, how? How did we get here? How do you think we got here, where a rookie quarterback for the second year in a row is deserved of conversation, to be in the conversation of MVP? How do we get here?
I don't know, because I thought you were going to go a totally different game there.
What? What game? Like, those 2 rookie quarterbacks are, like, very buzzworthy. It got flexed. The game got flexed to 4 o'clock. So, first flex of the year, Bears, the Bears, and the Commanders.
Yeah, I don't think if the Bears win, I don't think Caleb is in the conversation.
I think he becomes part of the...
He still has...
conversation.
They played 6 games.
Yeah.
This will be their 7th. Like, he still has plenty of bad games, that the good games aren't outweighing it. He does not have Jaden Daniels' resume at this point. We'll go with you if Jaden Daniels wins that game, which I believe they will, I think Jaden Daniels is already in the conversation.
He's in the conversation. I'm just saying, like, Caleb Williams drags him down. Caleb drives him down if they beat him. Because to beat him, he probably has to have a good game. At least very few turnovers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well,
I mean, if
Jalen Johnson's going to be on McLaurin, who else is he throwing to?
Game, it's because of their defense.
It's not just because of their defense, though. Like, I mean, Washington's defense isn't that good, dude.
Making a prediction.
Washington's defense is not that good. Who have they shut down that has a good offense? Or a decent offense?
That's not my point.
What is your point? Do you think the Bears are only going to win the game because of their defense?
Washington's got a good offense, and if the Bears are going to beat them, it's going to be because of their defense.
Which inherently hurts Daniel's MVP candidacy, does it not? So
yes, it does. But
okay.
I don't think the Bears are going to beat them.
They're definitely beating them. We need to do more than $1 on that one.
I'm going $1.50.
$1.50? No, that's too weird. It's too weird. I don't want cents in my Venmo.
Yeah, I don't think Venmo does decimals.
It does.
Does it?
Yeah. You never purchased anything from Venmo? Obviously, you've never paid a bookie in Venmo or received anything from a bookie. That's good. No.
I thought you were going to say the game this weekend between Detroit at Minnesota.
No, Darnold is not in the conversation, and Goff is very solid, but he's not in the conversation because that's a team effort. That's the coaching. That's both running backs, all the offensive linemen, and what's his face? The newish receiver. Williams has been really good, and Patrick. He's not in the conversation. He's good.
Receiver, first of all.
No, I was saying I'm the new receiver, like on the scene. I mean, Williams wasn't that great last year. He was nobody.
Jameson Williams.
Jameson Williams is more burst on this year.
Everybody's a weapon, but you know what? It's still Jared Goff running the show, and the Detroit Lions are now the highest scoring offense in the league in points per game.
Right.
I'm going to say if Detroit goes into Minnesota, beats Minnesota, gives them their first loss, and finally cracks that defense, Jared Goff is in the MVP conversation.
All right, I think we need to have a bet on who.
He would be the quarterback of the team in first place in the NFC.
All right, we're doing $1 bet on who has more MVP votes by the end of the year: Jared Goff or Caleb Williams. Fuck it.
Okay.
All right.
Also, put $1 in the swear jar.
Swear jar. No, I mean, it's more than likely that neither of them gets a single vote. Then what do we do?
Then we both give $1 to charity.
Ugh. Barf. Just kidding. If you're out there, yeah, it's good to give a charity. It's also good to go to signupexpert.com/$bets and start gambling with us. Yeah, because some of you are doing it out there. We appreciate that. So great. Anyways, yeah, I think that's a really fun $1 bet because anything that has like the carryover effect of possibly not cashing is always really exhilarating. And also, if they both have MVP votes, then we're happy guys, right?
Yes.
So my theory is that the Bears end up in the playoff conversation. They already are because their schedule the next few it's bye week this week, then at Washington, at Arizona, New England at home, and then they play the Packers at home, and then at Detroit, and then like the Vikings or something. So it's like it gets weird. However, like
I think I saw something like all four teams that the Bears beat this year have one win each.
Have one win each?
So it's not like you guys have had a murderer's row schedule.
You've played the Rams too, dude.
Okay.
The Cowboys aren't very good. You have not played the Texans. We lost by 6 points to the Texans. You've not played an NFC North.
Change what I said from being true.
All right, your schedule is tougher because you played Tampa Bay.
Have one win each.
But you lost a home game.
Anybody good?
The Bears haven't lost a home game since the middle of 2023. They've won 9 home games in a row, I think. No, 8 home games in a row, and then they won it at London, which is, I don't know, that was weird. They crushed them. Yeah, I agree. Their schedule's been easy.
Technically the road.
But I think the Bears are going to be 7-2 or 6-3. So that puts him in a position where if you have a really good defense, it's getting colder, Caleb's getting more confident, they're in the conversation, and if they're going anywhere, it's not like Jalen Johnson, the cornerback, is not going to get MVP votes, right? Even because he's not as flashy as Deion Sanders, but he's one of those guys. Do you follow the PFF at all? Is it Pro Football Fans? It's a Pro Football Focus. Is that what it is? You know how they rank the players before the games on the NBC games, the night games, right? When it was Bears against Texans, he was the number 1 rated defensive back, number 1, and he's the biggest reason him and Sweat, their biggest reason their defense. Just like the Lions, the anchor of their team, I think, is their offensive line and their running backs, and then they're really well coached on that side of the ball. So I
won't give Jared Goff any credit.
He's good. I already said he's good, but he has to have a clean pocket. And when I mean the spotless pocket, I'm not going to say clean pocket anymore. I'm going to say he has to have a spotless pocket unless he got so much better than he was last year. Because last year he fell apart twice against the Bears, except for the last few minutes.
Some plays this year where he has escaped pressure.
Okay.
Obviously, everyone's going to do better with a clean pocket, but this myth that he has no pocket awareness, it's all...
No, it's not awareness. It's just he's not quick. Like, he knows what to do. He just can't... His body doesn't do it. You know? Like, he's fine. He's fine.
He doesn't have Tyreek Hill speed. I'll give you that.
Yeah. You know, but, like, I mean, it's not like not a talent thing. It's more like his talent is more like he's a bigger, like, lesser Cousins in that, like, he processes the field, but he's better with play action than he is on just straight, like, snap me the ball, 1 second, 2 second, and then, like, I have to do something right away, and someone's coming at me, what do I got to do? How many quarterbacks in the league are actually, I'm talking like better than Jalen Hurts good? Like, Jalen Hurts can move, right? But he's going to make a mistake. Mahomes is great. Allen is pretty great at that, obviously. And then you got Stroud is great at that. And then you got these young guys. Like, we'll see on Daniels. I mean, he's more known for his elusive, like, combination of, like, he's like a combination of, like, Russell Wilson and, like, a Fields with running, because he's, like, faster than you think. And Russell Wilson, back in the day, was elusive, and you couldn't bring him down, right? Both physically and emotionally, because he's so, like, cheesily happy all the time, right? Guy's a dork. He's like a likable guy, but Fields should be the guy.
What was the adverb you just used?
Cheesily?
Cheesily, okay. I heard you right
there. Cheesily happy. But, so I think, like, Caleb Williams and Daniels are both guys that are going to join that, like, man, I thought we had him, and then they turned to play from nothing into something. Love could be in that conversation. Rodgers obviously was for the longest time, but I think, like, Love might be. Who else is in that might be, like, versus Cousins and Goff are in that camp. It's like, if you don't rush them, they have both the arsenal themselves and the tools around them usually, especially Goff with that running game, and those receivers and tight end. You know, it's like they're better than the Falcons pieces, but I think Cousins is better than Goff. But they're both top 10. Like, when they have a spotless pocket, you don't want to mess with that. You don't want to mess with Goff, you know, because the pedigree is there. It's just, I was just trying to say, I mean, I'm not trashing them. I just think, like, you got to keep the clean pocket, and they mostly do. But the problem is, like, if you don't get a defensive end in there that's really good, like, guess what? Like, the other teams are going to have that, and you're going to see the difference. It's like you're not dirtying up their pocket, and your pocket's getting a little dirtier than it should be. Guess what? That's the advantage teams like the Niners from last year. Teams like whoever the hell is actually good in the NFC besides the Lions, we're going to find out in the next few weeks, right? I think it's the Bears and the Tampa, maybe? I don't really know, right? It's like the Lions are clearly the best team in the NFC right now. But going forward, I mean, they have a challenge this week. I'm picking the Lions.
Did you just say the Lions are the best team in the NFC?
Yeah, I think...
Yeah, I mean, that's where we put them in the power rankings, but...
I think they are. I think the Texans...
We can say that absolutely after Sunday.
Yeah.
Right now, there's a 1A and a 1B.
In the NFC, I don't really think there are. I think the Vikings are going to lose.
I think so, too.
It's like, hey, Darnold and O'Connell, your whole family's going down.
They're still undefeated.
Yeah, that's true. I think the Texans and the Chiefs are, when they're on, are better. But other than that,
I am on Team Chiefs this weekend when they go play the Niners.
Yeah, dude, me too. I mean, I'm rooting for seriously every NFC team except to lose, except for the Bears. But like sometimes the Lions, I want them to win too, depending on the matchup. Until we get to lose or win on Thanksgiving or tie. They was like, what if there's a no tying a holidays rule? Did you know that? It's secret. Goodall told me.
Wait, say that again?
There's a no tying on holidays rule. They just keep extending the overtimes. And Goodall is like, we're in the same book club, so like he told me about it. Anyway, yeah, we, as you can tell, we love to talk about the Lions and Bears. You probably don't, but guess what? You're listening to this. We're not listening to you. Sorry about it. Not sorry. Okay, so our MVP.
Let's segue into a couple things that you kind of touched on.
Yeah,
First of all,
MVP.
I want to talk about the Atlanta Falcons and Cousins. Like,
Okay.
they kind of got up to,
You're breaking
lost
up.
that really tight game to Kansas City, and they lost. Didn't they lose a divisional game? Or was it New Orleans?
No, they lost to the Steelers in week 1 at home.
Oh, that's what it was. You're
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
Well,
they
Cousins
won the
wasn't
division
there
game. You
yet.
know what? Like, I think they're actually really starting to gel really quickly. Like, things are coming together. They're looking really good.
Really? Is that how?
Yeah, I feel like really good about my pick of the Falcons winning that division, and my what was the over under on them? Was it 9.5?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I went over on that. I'm starting to feel better about
No,
that.
they're going
after
9-8,
a couple
dude.
losses early.
I think, I mean, yeah, they played the Panthers. They let the Panthers in the game for 3 quarters, which the only team that's let them in for 3 quarters has been the team that they beat, which was who they beat. Who the Panthers beat? Jeez, we're drawing a blank on that, but why would you lose the Panthers? Who the hell did they
One
beat?
thing, I didn't watch that game.
Did they beat somebody? They beat somebody. Who they beat? Who they beat? Anyways,
Who was it?
I don't know. Look it up. You have to look it up, right? It's like, I can't remember. They're so bad. Was it the Browns?
Webs.
It was probably the Browns.
The Browns. Let's see. NFL.
Who did the Panthers beat? This is our segment about the Panthers. It's weekly and you hate it, and we hate it too, but we can't stop talking about the Panthers.
I'm not crazy about that song.
Panthers song is the worst song.
Panthers song.
Who won? Who won?
They beat at Vegas.
Oh, the Raiders. Okay, that's right. All right.
Yeah.
So the
Los
Panthers
Angeles, Oakland, Vegas.
The Panthers are trash, dude, and they played Atlanta tough for most of the game, and I was just like, what is going on with this shit? I don't think Atlanta is as good as you think they are. Tampa's defense just can be porous at times, and Cousins will elevate whatever's around him. However, you also have to have a defense or players that are clutch. One or the other, which they have. That one guy that caught the pass, whose name we already forgot in Tampa game. I already forgot his freaking name. I feel so bad. It was awesome, but he made a great play. But yeah, if teams aren't giving up 500 yards passing to the Falcons, guess what? They're gonna possess the ball more than that, and they're gonna score on this team. And beating Carolina does nothing for the Bears in your mind, then it should do absolutely less than 0 for the Falcons. So you're really only looking at the Saints. I'm sorry, they beat the Saints, who were spiraling out of control. They beat the Bucks. They lost the Steelers.
They beat at Philly.
They beat at Philly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Philly sucks, man. I don't know. When you're talking about teams, I think Detroit is the best team in the NFC, and they are going to prove it at that as is, even without a defensive edge. Period. I mean, they could play 4 defensive tackles.
It's true.
They could play 4 defensive regular tackles and be fine. No. They're still the best team.
You know why you can't do that?
Because you just run right around it. But I just think it doesn't. Their holes are known. And they're schemable. They're schemable to prevent the holes getting exploited by a team that's not ready to take that hole and do with it what it wants. That sounded bad. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
Can we edit that before the
No. FCC won't let me be.
I'm just over here just cringing.
I know, this is a cringe.
You can't say that.
Cringe episode.
That might as well be $5 in the
$5 in the swear jar. No, but like they're not. They have holes, but like guess what? Everyone has holes. The Bears, it's youth and then offensive line holding up all season, and to an extent you can run right down their throats. And like they're Detroit and Chicago are. We're gonna just continue this. They're uniquely suited to beat each other. And that I just cannot wait for Thanksgiving, dude.
Yeah. I can't wait for Thanksgiving.
I want them to be good. Like, I want each team to go in with, like, you guys would be like, I want 1 loss for Detroit and 2 losses for Chicago. Like, if they win out until then, they'll be the most hyped Thanksgiving game of all time. Our MVP, by the way, our MVPs, not going to happen. So, we're going to not pick new ones. We're just going to stick with it and see what happens. But my backup is Caleb, and your backup is Goff at this point, right?
True.
Okay. So, yeah, and another thing we need to review, and we'll spend the rest of the episode on this. So, the college football playoff. We got a couple great games.
College game.
Before we get back in our reviewing where we were at, we have critical games this week. We got Texas hosting Georgia, Alabama at Tennessee. Those are some good ones. LSU's playing at Arkansas, so LSU needs to win that game to stay in the conversation.
Good. Like, Arkansas has a good defense.
They have a pulse.
Can I say who I predicted?
You predicted Arkansas to hang tough with LSU.
I predicted LSU to win, but I think that's going to be a very close game.
Correct. I am not betting on LSU on that one, but I couldn't take Arkansas out of there, so I was like, you know what? I'm staying clear. The old stay clear games, the best part about stay clear bets is that you never lose. You're undefeated, baby. You win 100% of the bets and you don't lose. There's the episode title. So we're both taking Texas and Alabama in those games. I think the Texas game is going to be a lot closer than the Alabama. I think Alabama's going to take a shit on Tennessee, actually.
I think Alabama's coming out mad. Like, they have looked bad for 2 straight weeks.
Yeah, well, South Carolina's actually good.
What kind of a coach deboer is this week.
I think he's a front-running coach.
He obviously had them up for Georgia, at least in the first half, in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
They need to look better than they did the last 2 weeks.
Vanderbilt's good, though. Vanderbilt's good. Vanderbilt had one bad game, right? Vanderbilt lost to Georgia State late after they came from behind, right? They beat Virginia Tech in overtime. Virginia Tech's fine. They're middling this year, but as usual. But they took Missouri to overtime. And at first it was like, oh, what's wrong with Missouri? And even when they beat Texas A&M, blew them out. It's like, what's wrong with Missouri? And then Vandy turns around and beats Bama later that day. You're like, oh, maybe nothing's wrong with Missouri. Maybe Vanderbilt's like pretty good and Texas A&M is pretty good. And it's like the SEC is going to get 6 teams. It's a matter of which 6, I think. And you think they have a good 4 still, or you've adjusted that? Because I know you have Penn State in there.
I do not think SEC is going to get to 6.
No, I know. You said you don't. I said you had 4 of them. You had LSU, Alabama, Texas, and Georgia.
The Big Ten gets
3.
Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State. Still think those 3 make it.
Penn State plays Ohio State.
The ACC gets 2 in.
You think they'll get 2?
What's that?
You think they'll get 2?
The ACC?
Yeah, I didn't look at their schedule because I don't know. I don't like to look at that shit.
Yeah. The Big 12 probably just 1, but it's
Iowa State and Kansas State.
Originally.
Yeah, Iowa State and Kansas State are still alive, right?
And
BYU.
There's still like
BYU.
4 or 5 teams that are alive for winning that championship.
Oh yeah, but I mean for like to make it like a 2-for league, like Iowa State, BYU, Kansas State, it has to be 2 of those 3.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Utah, RIP. And dude, Dave Grohl lookalike needs.
It was their quarterback's out.
Dave Grohl, you mean?
He was the difference maker.
Except when he's hurt, then he's not, and he's just holding their program back. He held their program hostage, or the coach did. They're done. They're done. That Zach Wilson's little brother has 7 interceptions, and he's only started half the games. Or like 2/3 of the game so far. So he started like 4 games, 7 interceptions, but not a lot of touchdowns. Like,
let's not pile on the Wilson family.
I'm not piling them on. Piling. Damn it! I can't speak. Will not speak of the Wilsons.
Blow the whistle.
Blow the whistle. So we're burying Utah. So at best, I can go 10-12, and you can go 11-12 because Texas State's lost a couple. But I just figured Boise State would lose 2 or 3, and someone would go undefeated. That wasn't the case. I don't think. So Army and Navy have an outside shot at going undefeated. Only one of them will, except the playoff gets. You heard about this? They play after the playoff has been decided. So
really?
They might both be
They might have to reschedule that.
They can't. They
show.
can't.
They can do whatever they want. They're the selection show.
Oh yeah, such
they get
power.
to select when the selection show is.
No, they don't. The networks do.
Oh.
Hey, you're in the media technically. You need to look up media stuff. I don't want to. No Thursday games. He like, I hate money. I hate it. So that could be interesting. I think Army has a better shot of those two teams, and so I think Boise's primary competitor, besides obviously UNLV in its own division, because their only conference, their only loss is to Syracuse, is pretty decent. It would be. I think it comes down between Boise, Army, and UNLV, and I don't. JMU lost, so I think that's like there's no Sunbelt teams that are undefeated, so it's like I feel like it'd be real tough because UNLV would have to have 3 losses or Boise would have to have 3 losses if Army wasn't like a 1 or 2 loss team at that point, or Navy.
In the world that I'm living in,
yeah,
aka reality,
okay,
Boise is going to run the table.
Yeah, but Army is definitely in if they.
So here's my question to you.
Okay.
A 1-loss Boise team who only lost to Oregon, and an undefeated Army or Navy team. Who's getting the nod?
Not Penn State. Both. Let me look at Army's schedule. I think one of them plays Notre Dame, actually. Let me check. Yeah.
One of the.
Yeah, dude. So here's Army's schedule. Army 6-0. They play East Carolina. That should be a win. At North Texas will be closer, but it'll be a win probably. Sorry, Air Force at home. Air Force is terrible. That's a win. 8-0. At North Texas, most likely a win. And then they have a bye week, and they play at Notre Dame. That's an elimination game for Notre Dame. If Notre Dame loses in Northern Illinois and Army, they're obviously out. And then they play UTSA at home, and then they got Navy.
I think Notre Dame, every game is an elimination game for them. At this
no.
point. They already have 1 loss, and they don't get to play a conference championship game.
Okay, let me see Notre Dame's. You know what? We're gonna knock out one of these teams right now. They got at Georgia Tech. If they lose that, they're out. They got at Navy. If they lose that, they're out. They got Florida State. If they lose that, they're definitely out. Virginia, same thing. USC. I think you're right. I think they need to go 11-1. I don't think they're going to. I think Notre Dame's out. I don't think they get through Army, Navy, Georgia Tech, Virginia, USC. They'll get through Florida State. But do you think they sweep those 5? That's a tough one. That's a tough one. We're going to say, you know what? I'll let you call it because we both put Notre Dame in there. Shall we pull them out?
I mean...
We didn't foresee Georgia Tech, Army, Navy. Georgia Tech, Army, Navy, USC is not the easiest schedule. It's not the hardest schedule, but it's not the easiest schedule. Those are 4 teams, 3 teams of the Pulse, and USC that has athletes.
I mean, I'm not willing to say it's a foregone conclusion, but...
I'm taking them out.
Hanging on by a thread.
Dollar bet?
No, not yet.
You're going to say Notre Dame? You can't not yet it because it's only interesting if there's 6 games left. Does Notre Dame run the table through that?
Dollar bet if they run the table?
Or make the playoff. I mean, hypothetically, they could go 10-2 and get the Notre Dame experience and get in, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be some 2-loss teams.
Yeah,
are going to make the playoffs, but
the thing is,
to be a team that has a much harder schedule than Dame does.
Right. I mean, they got a bunch of ranked teams on this thing, but it's like, or a few ranked teams.
Be a SEC or a Big Ten team.
Yeah.
Will be the only 2-loss teams that make it.
So are you going to take my dollar bet? You get them if they make it. If they run the table. I'll say you don't even have to make it. They just have to run the table for you in the dollar bet cuz that's kind of saying the same thing.
No, I'm not convinced that they will.
All right, then they're out. They're out then. They're definitely out. where Notre Dame is out. You're out.
No. Bye, Notre Dame.
Bye, Notre Dame. So I'm 9 for 12 at best. And then I think Ole Miss is on the bubble. We're going to pop that Ole Miss schedule right there. We're about to pop my Ole Miss bubble real quick. But tailgating on the Grove if you can get it. Good work if you can get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that video.
In the South. It is awesome.
Yeah, Ole Miss football 2024 schedule. We're on the Google webs. This is tough. Oh, yeah, they are a bye. They're a bye week. They have 5 games left. So they're 5-2 right now. They play Oklahoma at Arkansas.
I think they'll win.
Georgia at home, at Florida, and Mississippi State. So if they run the table, they're not going the SEC title, but they're definitely going to the playoff. Right?
I mean, Georgia's really the only likely loss on that schedule.
Arkansas, they could lose to Arkansas, dude. Or Florida.
Could, but
yeah, Florida gave Tennessee a battle, and they got a new quarterback. Then he'll be more experienced by then. We're gonna say Ole Miss is out, but they'll be close at a 9-3. They'll get a good bowl.
You know who did not have Ole Miss on their list?
You.
This guy.
All right, we're on to Penn State. We're trying to eliminate these teams and see who else is in there, right? Penn State.
Oh, you don't have Penn State. No, I'm holding on to Penn State.
We got at Wisconsin next week. We got Ohio State.
Undefeated at this point. Keep in mind.
Yeah, they at Wisconsin. That's a potential loss. Ohio State at home. Washington at home. Purdue on the road. At Minnesota and Maryland. How did Penn State get this easy of a schedule? Did you look up their schedule or something?
I mean, yeah, I did my research.
I didn't know their schedule was this easy. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. USC is garbage. Like, they could lose to Minnesota. They're definitely losing Ohio State. Franklin can't win that
the
game.
Ohio State game?
Doesn't matter. It could be in a hermetically sealed mausoleum where Buckeyes are not Buckeyes can't. They have to have their third stringers play in this like weird arena or something, and they'd still lose. It doesn't matter because Franklin's coaching that game. Franklin is worse than Day, so I'm taking Ohio State in the dollar bet to come on that. I say they go 10-2. I think they blow it against Wisconsin or Minnesota. Purdue is not good. Maryland's not good. Washington is not good. So I'd say they have to lose one of those two. But if you lose to Ohio State, no problem. But if you lose to Wisconsin or Minnesota, and there's an SEC team or two sitting at 10-2, or 11-2, or 10-3 even that played in this SEC title game, like no, you're not getting in, dude. I think they're in, but I want to say they won't be. So I'll dollar bet you on that.
I'll dollar bet it.
Okay.
Penn State's going to be a one-loss team with only a loss to Ohio State.
Yeah, I think you think. All right. So I'm not betting on the playoff. How about I bet you that they lose another game besides Ohio State?
2-losser?
Yeah. Oh no, that they lose a game that's not Ohio State. Separate thing, just in case.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
No. I want that second loss.
You want
what happens if they just have the game of their life against Ohio State?
Fine, 2 losses. Fine, they're not beating Ohio State. I'm going to hammer that game. I'm hammering that game. I'm taking 2 losses. Put it on the dollar bet.
Yeah, 2-loss Penn State for Z, 1-loss Penn State for O.
All right, next up, you have another team, Clemson. We'll look up Clemson. Our final looks are Clemson, Missouri, and LSU, okay? Because we both have Bama and Georgia and Ohio State and Oregon in, and we got a replacement team in the Big 12. Do you want to bet on the replacement team? I would go with Iowa State. Do you prefer BYU, Iowa State? What's the other one? Kansas State. Not Kansas State. You hate Kansas State. You hate Kansas State. That's right. I'm looking at Clemson.
I'll take BYU.
All right, I'll take Iowa State. Bet is no.
You after the show, because it's not inappropriate why I'm taking BYU.
Oh, okay.
Remind me to tell you.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
When we
Okay.
get cut.
So write down the dollar bet. It has to be Iowa State or BYU as the highest seed Big 12 team. Okay, so Clemson playing Virginia. Virginia's fine. Louisville at Virginia Tech, at Pittsburgh, Citadel, and South Carolina. Clemson, keep in mind, has one loss. If they lose another game, they're still likely to be in the ACC championship game. If they lose to Miami, we're presuming Miami or Pittsburgh in the ACC championship game, after losing one of these other games, they are not going to make it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's kind of like Virginia, Louisville, they could trip up against
logical.
Yeah. You know what? Interesting. Don't care. You can have that one. All right. Ole Miss. Oh, we already did that. LSU.
You did not have LSU, right?
I had LSU as my 9 seed. I had Alabama as my 8 seed and LSU as my 9 seed.
Okay, so we both have LSU.
I had Texas as a 10 and Notre Dame as a 7.
Yeah, no, that was one we actually agreed on the seed. We both had them on the 9.
Yeah. They got at Arkansas, at Texas A&M, Alabama at home, at Florida, Vanderbilt at home, Oklahoma at home. If they go 10-2, they're a fucking stone cold lock.
They're currently with one loss, correct?
To USC, yeah. This is the team that
God, that's a bad loss at this point.
Well, this is the team that I foresee being the 9-3 team that gets in potentially, right?
At the 12th seed.
I mean, sure. Yeah, Boise or Army or both could get in at this point. If Army goes runs the table, that means they beat Notre Dame. It means Notre Dame's out. Boise gets in anyways at 12-1 or 11-2, right? Because
there's definitely a world where we would have a second group of 5 team.
Oh, I think so, because flat out, like, Clemson's probably not deserving if they don't win the conference, and the SEC might not get 6. I mean, or Penn State might not get in, or whatever. Ohio State could lose a couple, you know. Like,
Clemson and Miami play each other in the regular season.
No,
they do not.
No.
Okay.
Loser of that does not deserve it. Let's see. Oh, what was the last one? Missouri. And Bama. We'll check Bama, too. Auburn at Alabama. Oklahoma at home. At South Carolina. At Mississippi State. Arkansas at home. Okay. They're going to beat Auburn. Peyton Thorne or whoever's playing quarterback is not the guy. At Alabama. That's a toss-up game, dude. Missouri's good. Roll Tide, yeah, but I think they're going to blow their wad against Tennessee, and I think Missouri's going to beat them. I do think the win. I'm going to say the loser of that game still makes it, because Alabama's they're not going to lose to Missouri and LSU, right? It's going to be like this thing where one of these 3 teams somehow gets in at 9-3, and it's more likely to be LSU or Alabama based on reputation, right?
True.
Okay, so I think I would move LSU down to my 11 seed. I'd move Boise up to 10 and Army at 12.
Well, I do like the sound of Boise at 11 because that is what I had initially. I'm really just not going to make too many changes at this point because I don't have to. I still have more things on the table.
Right. I think Bama goes. They win 2 out of these 3 at Tennessee, Missouri at home, at LSU, and then they have Mercer at home, Oklahoma on the road, and Auburn at home. Yeah, I would say I'm going to call it right now. Auburn Alabama or LSU or Ole Miss, one of them gets in at 9-3.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Nice.
The only change I have to make is my replacement for Utah, which I said BYU.
Okay, and I got Iowa State there. And then let's say Army gets in instead of... I think Army and Boise State... I think Army gets in instead of Boise State, unless Boise wins. If Boise beats UNLV, they're almost a lock. Even if they lose their conference. Because it's not Group 5 champion, it's best Group of 5 team. Right?
Well, no, it's a champion. It's
Is
highest
it?
Ranked Group of 5 champion.
Really?
Really.
Interesting, because if Boise loses to UNLV, that makes it really freaking interesting. Because then there'll be a rematch, most likely.
Yeah.
And then the rematch, are they better than the Army-Navy winner? Or whoever's hired. Oh, this is exciting! I like the bottom of the bracket, dude, because you got a Service Academy, UNLV, or Boise with the Heisman Trophy, we're going to say it, favorite right now. Because that guy's ridiculous. He needs to be a top 10 pick. If you're a team that has playoff aspirations or just had a bad season or got somebody else's draft pick and you don't take that running back, you're dumb. Unless you're the Lions, you take that pick because the Lions have two backs.
You've convinced me.
What?
We need to expand the playoffs to 64 teams.
64 teams. MSU could get in, baby.
All right, let's get to our picks and call it a show.
Yeah, we'll wrap that up. We'll wrap it up good.
Wrap it up.
Rub it up.
Blow the whistle.
All right, here comes our picks. Our bets or our picks? All right, all the way through our picks. Okay, you want to do it?
Yeah, I'm just getting to that screen real quick. Here we go, okay. Episode 33. Here we go, starting with the college.
Yes.
We got South Carolina at Oklahoma. We both say okay.
Okay.
Miami at Louisville. We both say Miami.
Yeah.
Nebraska at Indy. We both say Indy. Bama at Tennessee. We agree on Bama.
Mm-hmm.
Dame at Georgia Tech. We both say Dame. Cheaters at Illinois. We both say Illinois.
Illinois is making some noise against Michigan.
Oh, here we go. Here's a bet. Colorado at Arizona. O is going with Rocky Mountain High. Z is going with Grand Canyon Low.
Yep.
All right. Dollar bet.
Dollar bet. Choo-choo.
All right. LSU at Arkansas. We both say LSU.
That was our hard pass on betting this week because we're like, ooh, LSU won a tough overtime game. They got the nuss bus, but Arkansas is a bunch of no-names with a good defense. So we're saying, don't bet it, but take LSU.
All right, probably the game of the week, Georgia at Texas. We'll see how it plays out, but we both go with the hook 'em horns.
Yeah, I think the game of the week as far as playoff implications is Alabama and Tennessee because I think Texas or Georgia, one of them's going to make it no matter what. But, yeah, those are the two games of the week, obviously. It's not MSU and Iowa, is it?
Probably not.
UCF at Iowa State trap game, but we went with Iowa State.
Iowa State, and then K-State at West Virginia. This is my
triggered auto pick. Yeah.
I go with Country Roads.
Country Roads are taking me home to $1 for Kansas State, hopefully. We got Santos over the Broncos. I think that game started, obviously, but who cares? Patriots and Jaguars. You went with the Jags for the $1.
Yeah, just because I wanted to disagree with you.
Yeah, it's because we want a reason to wake up that morning at like 9 o'clock and be like, oh, I gotta watch this game, honey.
You know what? If there's one thing I hate more than Thursday night games, it's
European games.
Yeah.
He called in our sheet for the record. Got fun with this, and he called this the Billy Bobs on the Bills game and the Edie Falco for Falcons.
I messed up the name of every pick.
I know, it was very infuriating, and I loved every bit of it. Yeah, Falcons over who are they playing? The Seahawks. No defense on Seattle. A bad coach so far. So far, he's bad. Billy Bobs. We took the rejuvenated Bills against the Will Levis Mayo Ball team. The Bungles against the Browns. That's the perfect name for that game. The Tejanos. The Texans at the Packers. I think we picked with our heart on this one. That was a tough one.
Definitely with the heart, but Texans are good.
Colts over Dolphins. We both picked with indifference. I think you were hoping I would take the Vikings in this game for $1 bet, but I am backing the Lions.
Yep. Go Lions.
Better coach. That's right.
To invade the Twin Cities.
Oh, yeah. You got the Eagles over the Giants. It's going to be a tough one, I think. That's a game I'm not betting on. Raiders and Rams, another game I'm not betting on, but we both took the Rams because the Raiders are just trash. Panthers at Commanders. You mean the Panthers are...
I think it'll be a commanding win.
Yeah, the Panthers are sub-trash. But they're the gift that keeps giving to the Bears. The Chiefs and Niners, this is not the game of the week. It's Lions and Vikings, but this is the post.
This is the game that every NFC fan
is
watching and cheering for the Chiefs.
I'm going to say, you know what? I'll get to my bets at the very, very end, and I'm just only going to the hammer plays. Screw it. I'm doing a parlay hammer, okay? It's going to be fun. Okay. Then we got Jets and Steelers. We obviously took the Chiefs because screw the 49ers. That one's TBD because I need to know who's starting quarterback for the Steelers. Because I do not believe in current Russell Wilson, as I alluded to. Fields is the winner. I mean, he gives you a different dynamic on the ground, and Russell Wilson gives you a zero dynamic unless you want to, I don't know, do some Sunday activities that don't involve football. I don't know. I don't know what he's good for at this point. No, pass. Bucks and Ravens. That's gonna be another. This is the Monday night game that we officially recognize. It's the Ravens at the Bucks. Oh, you got the Bucks, yeah?
Yep.
All right. I mean, you saw the Bucks up close against the Ravens, against the Lions. Yeah, dummy Browns, Chargers and Cardinals. We wanted to do a pass on this, but it's not. We hate Harbaugh, but get well soon or whatever, But obviously, we got the Chargers because Cardinals are trash. Okay, so hammer plays.
There should only be one Monday Night Football game.
I agree with you, unless they're good ones. Or if there's two bad ones. If it's bad ones, give me two of them. But if it's one good one and one bad one, it's kind of weird. Let's stop doing that. All right, so here's my play. Okay, here's the play. I'm taking Alabama money line. I'm combining it with, not that one. I'm combining it with, we got, yuck. Bills money line, Lions money line, and Commanders and Chiefs. 5 of them. Take Alabama. Take the Commanders. Take the Bills, the Lions, and the Chiefs. Wrap that up. Couple units. Boom! Take that to the moon. Go get your money. Signupexpert.com/$bets with a Z. The money is out there. Are you going to take it? Are the Lions going to take the NFC? Is Caleb Williams in a week from now going to get in that MVP conversation? Are we all crazy? Let's watch some football. I got to watch some football. How about you? Football. Bye!
Dreaming of the perfect event or longing for a clutter-free space? I'm Stephanie with I'm with Steph, where your vision becomes a reality. From magical weddings to transformative home organizing, we bring you expertise and passion to every project. Whether you're planning a grand celebration or seeking peace through organization, we tailor our services to meet your unique needs. I'm with Steph. To explore our services and connect with me directly, visit imwithsteph.com. Mention Electricast for a 20% discount.
Everyone has heard about the U.S. space program, but what is actually going on at NASA? Get the real story in 4 minutes or less with the NASA Daily Podcast from Electricast. Join astronauts and researchers as they conduct groundbreaking experiments, work on the International Space Station, and reach for the stars. NASA Daily, your cosmic update.
Electricast. Electricast.